Welcome to It Takes Two. I'm Blair.
I'm Chris.
And today we'll be talking about Married at First Sight, Season 17, Episode 19.
Listen, we are an episode away from Decision Day. Thank you for hanging with us. Subscribe, like, share, comment, thumbs up this video. We have been in hell with you. Mm-hmm. And we are about to be released from this show. But I do want a reunion with just the experts, though.
Okay.
I do want that. You ready, Blair?
I'm ready.
Let's go.
Claire is at Emily's place talking about Cameron still. She spoke to him and he sounds like his normal self. He knows she's going to get emotional on decision day, but that's not going to change the way that they feel about their decision, is what he was trying to explain to her.
It shouldn't.
They already made their decision weeks ago.
Yeah.
It's what he's trying to get her to understand. Emily couldn't sympathize with Claire, or she can sympathize with Claire. Claire asks how things are going with her, and Emily says that she just wants the good days to keep happening. They really haven't talked about their decision day or what the relationship that they're going to have is going to be.
Yeah.
But she planned a dinner, so she's hoping they can kind of get into it then.
Hey, be careful. Just because it's not a bad day doesn't mean it's a good day. I think Emily is confusing not bad days as good days. A day that y'all not arguing don't qualify as a good day because y'all not talking about nothing else.
Yeah.
Y'all not pushing the relationship forward. Y'all just wasn't pushing it back that day. You get what I'm saying? Let's go, Blair.
Well, Becca and Austin go to a pottery class. Becca thinks that when they're off camera, Austin doesn't show that he really likes her.
Yeah.
And she doesn't know if she knows who he really is. She doesn't know what to trust at this point. Austin tells her that he doesn't like, that he does like her and that she should trust him.
Yeah.
Becca knows that he likes her as a person, but she doesn't know if he likes her in a relationship type of way. And he says that he does.
Show me.
She's more likely to believe what he says, what he does versus what he says. Austin thinks that they have been better when trusting like the little things. She brings up an example of where she told him to keep the washing machine open instead of closing it so that way it doesn't cause mildew. And she said, you did good with that. You didn't like push back on me about that or anything. You just did it. And he says, well, is me like asking questions or disagreeing, like, is that an issue for you because you said you didn't like pushovers when it came to your last relationships? And she's like, well, she doesn't want him to be a pushover, but she wants him to think of their relationship at least a small percentage of the time. And she thinks maybe she's asking for too much.
Before you get to the funny part,
okay,
first of all, is there something on my face? I feel like there's something on my face.
No, you're fine.
Okay, I'm good.
Yeah.
Okay, I just feel like there's like toothpaste or something on my face. I'm good.
No, you're fine.
Okay, good. Also, I do kind of see Becca point. When I was watching it with you, I kind of like was just laughing at them because you know how I gave them the pink slips. We don't want to hear about Becca. But if you are argumentative because I say, hey, can you close the washer door? And you're choosing that moment to be like, why? I will be upset. Okay. You get what I'm saying? Because now it is a thing of nitpicking. But if I give you a reason like you don't want it to mildew and things like that, I never heard of that. But, you know, it is what it is. But if their washer's the type to where, for one, for starters, why is the washer door open if there's nothing in it? Yeah. Like, it literally makes no sense for the washer door to be open. If Austin is just doing things that is, what's the word? If he's not giving her sex, at least listen to her. Because she has no other ways to connect to you besides like her, besides you listening to her and things like that. And to me, it just sounds like she just sounds very sexually frustrated, in my opinion. Yeah. It just very, like, now, like, little things is getting on my nerves now. Now, like, I see you in a whole different light. Yeah. 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 How
I feel about that, I don't feel like they're progressing. No, Austin's talking about...
I think they're regressing.
Yeah, they're trusting in, like, the little things with each other. Yeah. I don't know. I'm very in the middle when it comes to Becca asking Austin to do something. Well, okay, maybe I'm not in the middle. You can't expect people not to have questions or to not have something to say back. He's not a child. He's your husband. Yeah. And if you tell him to do something, he's not just supposed to say yes, ma'am, and just carry it out. He's an adult male, and he can voice his concerns or want to have a discussion about something, no matter how big or how little it is.
I agree.
So I think that Becca needs to chill out on basically saying, just do what I say and stop asking me questions, or she's like, it's just exhausting for me to have to explain why all the time. Then be single.
Well, listen.
Now, it's one thing to say like, hey, I don't, see why this requires a long conversation, but you can just say, hey, this is how I feel about it. And then if he disagrees, he disagrees. He's a grown up. I don't know what to tell you.
Yeah, I think with him, like I said, when you're sexually frustrated and you really don't like the person at the moment, and you don't know really what's the source of it, because usually when you're sexually frustrated, you don't really know you're sexually frustrated unless you have that maturity.
You're just frustrated.
Yeah, you're basically just frustrated.
Yeah.
So it does in a way, especially if your washer door opens like this instead of like this.
Like it's in the way.
Yes, it's like, why don't you just close the door? Like, you get what I'm saying? So that's why I'm like, I kind of get what she's saying, but no, listen here. She just frustrated. She don't know she's sexually frustrated. She just, everything he does just frustrates her.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, she gets up because she's cold.
Watch this, guys.
To put a jacket on. She grabs his jacket. He asks her, can you wash your hands first? Because they are at a pottery class.
Hey, put that down, please.
Yeah. And he didn't even say that. He said, can you just wash your hands first? And she gets annoyed and she grabs her jacket and she said, even that. It's like, you're not even caring for me in that way. And it bothered her. And he thinks that she is trying to make him look bad. The way that she describes him.
Yeah. Even
the simple fact of the jacket. He said, and she's like, I get you don't want your jacket dirty, but that's just a way you could like show your care for me. And I get what she's saying, but Becca, just wash your hands.
Yeah. For one, Blair, 100% correct. Right? I get one thing that we laughed about. It's one thing if she didn't have a jacket. Like you said while watching the show with me. But she has her own jacket.
And it was right next to his.
Why did she just grab her jacket? You get what I'm saying? Look, man, she's frustrated. She's actually frustrated. So, like, but Austin, you don't get to skate away without no blame. Why are you worried about how you viewed? That seemed to be a consistent theme amongst the brethren. Or basically the Bob Marley movies out. The Brethren is out. I tried. I don't think it
sounded exactly the same.
I ain't do good, right? But it sound that seemed to be a theme amongst the guys. This show is that they care about how they're viewed, besides being in the moment with the person that they are married to. Yeah, and that is quote unquote sinking your ship when it comes to your marriage. You know what I'm saying? But I definitely see a big regression with these guys. Austin, I think he's a major gaslighter. I don't think he likes her. He does all the things to make you think he does, in the sense of when she's crying and actually talking about the things that bothers her, he'll be there to rub your knee. He'll be there to talk to you softly. He'll be there to say he understands, but then he goes and leave the washer door open again. Yeah. You get what I'm saying? So it just, he don't have changed behavior.
Yeah. Well, Dr. Pia visits Chloe and Michael.
Uh-oh.
The conversations have been really deep between them.
Yeah.
Chloe thinks that the intensity in the conversations have given them the grace to be who they fully are.
Yeah.
And it's been pretty easy, according to her. Michael says that we are still trying to be our best selves, but between filming, he might not be his best self, but it's not even in the way of Brennan or even Austin would be not their best selves. He needs to take a nap. And I'm like, Michael, that's okay. That's okay for you to take a nap.
He's just a little tired.
Yes, but he says that all the other times he really does try to be fully engaged. It's okay to take a nap, Michael. They both are very sexual people. Chloe needed time to build an emotional connection. And they say that their physical affection is moving rapidly forward. Michael says they've been exploring each other. And then they give us a clip of them exploring each other.
Oh, my goodness.
I was like, was this necessary? But they have been exploring each other.
Listen here. Blair was like, I think she, like, her head was down there when they were trying to clip. And that's when we rewind. I'm like, no, that's her booty.
In the air.
What you looking for back there, Michael? Listen here. You said this was the first time we see something like that on the show to where they had to blur. Listen here, man. I don't know how I felt about it, but I was like, oh. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, Chloe.
I think that was crossing the line a little bit.
You think so?
I feel like I like the cameras in the apartment so that we can catch how people really are with the arguments and stuff like that. But I don't need to see them tooting it up.
But this is what I don't understand. Like
maybe even a kiss.
But this is what I don't understand, to your point, Blair.
Yeah.
Let me just add can I add a little salt to it?
Go ahead.
My whole point is all these off-screen scenes that we've been missing, that they've been talking about. The camera ain't there to catch this. But when it's freaky time, they catching all this other stuff. Stop it. Do better. I want to see the arguments.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Well, they are comfortable being naked around each other, as we saw.
Yeah, she sleep naked, she said.
They haven't masturbated with each other yet.
That's a weird question I would
think. Dr. Pia gives them an assignment to take a field trip to an adult store, pick out 3 items you want to do with each other, and use them according to your comfort level. When she said this, I was like, this should have been the exercise for Becca and Austin rather than blindfolding and running around the apartment.
Austin wouldn't have done it.
Get them to it.
Austin wouldn't have done it, though.
Yeah, that's true.
Austin wouldn't have done it. Now, granted, that's 2020. Of course, hindsight's 2020. But Austin wouldn't have done it based on what we see now.
No.
You get what I'm saying? I don't know. I just felt like it's kind of strange to ask, have y'all pleased yourselves in front of each other before? Because not a lot of people do that. That I know of personally, that'd be like, hey, I like please myself. That like we please ourselves in front of each other. Though. Like some people use that as a private time. I'm guessing based on the circumstance of them being married at first sight, and them taking steps. They're just people to just skip those steps. But I understand, I guess.
Yeah,
I understand, I guess.
Yeah, yeah. I had a comment to say, but I forgot. Anyway,
okay. Well,
Emily and Brennan, they are out on their dinner date.
Yeah.
Emily feels better about decision day.
Yeah.
He thinks that the accident did bring them closer together.
Interesting.
She's happy that she was able to see a different side of him. Brennan says that expectations were blurred and too high between the friendship relationship thing.
What that mean?
And Emily doesn't think that they established their relationship as just a friendship.
What?
Brennan thinks his actions were showing that. He should have told her sooner. She says, I'm not a mind reader, and all I've wanted was directness on how you felt.
Okay.
Brennan says he's really been trying, and Emily disagrees. After the honeymoon, the guard went up. He's saying that she is not acknowledging that he has put forth some efforts. She says she wouldn't have stayed unless she thought there was more room for growth to be had.
Okay.
He asked, what was it? No, he asked, was it you staying, or you trying to convince me to stay? And she agrees that she convinced him to stay because she didn't want him to take this opportunity away as far as the married at first sight process.
Yeah.
If he would have left when the accident wouldn't have happened, then she wouldn't have hit her head.
Wow.
He just wants to eat his food at this point.
Yeah.
Shut up.
Yeah. He mad.
Stop talking to me about this.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I want to talk on that first portion.
Go ahead, Blair.
Pretty much. I felt like this was kind of eye-opening to me.
How so?
Because it seemed to me that at some point, it was clear to Emily that Brennan wasn't there for a relationship. By him saying that, were you staying with me or were you just trying to convince me to stay so that you can live out these 2 months? And she agreed with that, from my understanding.
It seemed
she said, yeah, like I tried to convince you to stay because I didn't want you to ruin this process for me. Well, girl, she ruined it. Well, he ruined it because he wasn't willing to actually put in the work to be married. Yeah. So did you understand that he wasn't going to be putting any work, but he was going to, you know, keep showing up so that way you could stay in the apartment? What was the understanding?
Yeah, it seemed like there was a off-camera conversation.
Yeah.
That there was an agreement between the two that like, hey, I want to leave. This is Brennan talking.
Yeah.
She's like, well, don't take this experiment away from me, from us. You know, can you stay? And somehow the cameras wasn't there for that. You get what I'm saying? But for the freaky, they caught the freaky where Chloe booty tooted and booted up in the air. I think you're right 100%. Go ahead. Didn't mean to cut you off. Go ahead.
No, that's all I had to say about it. It's like, I think there was an off-camera agreement. And Brennan, he was not clear on camera about the relationship, friendship, and where they stood and all that type of stuff. So that's what led me to believe that Emily was really confused. But at the same time, Emily didn't ask enough probing questions for me. And I think that's because there was an agreement in place. And she understood that he was staying there so she can ride out her TV fantasy.
Now it kind of make you look at all the other episodes with kind of like a side eye.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Kind of like when he always say something like, I trusted you and you broke my trust. Or something across the lines of, you making me look this way, you making me, you know, it's about the optics and things like that. Yeah. Maybe that was part of an agreement, to your point, of, okay, I'll be here for you, but you can't make me look bad. You get what I'm saying? But that still doesn't take away the fact that I don't think Emily did make him look bad.
No, Brennan should have just left. He shouldn't have agreed to that with her. If he wasn't really going to try and be in the process, he should have just been like, girl, I got to pack it up. Yeah. Because I'm not going to be trying.
Come on.
So.
Keep going.
That's all I got. Oh, keep going with the thing. Yeah. Okay. She doesn't think that he gave his all, which he didn't. And she wants him to speak to that.
Yeah, go ahead and speak to that.
Even though he said he didn't want to talk about it, he trying to eat a steak.
Listen here, he looked like, can we just eat? Okay. Yeah.
Brennan said that I felt comfortable, that I saw every side of you I could. And I saw a few red flags. The romantic chemistry wasn't there.
Okay.
She was very negative, always saying that she hates stuff, even destroying Michael and Chloe's vows. He couldn't believe he could make their vows into something negative.
Yeah, he couldn't believe that she did that. Now, listen, I read, it was an episode when me and Blair Bear was here, and I read the vows of her vows. And I told y'all that she was wrong for trying to make it seem like her vows was better than the vows that Chloe and them gave.
Vanilla, she said.
Yeah. Now, here's the thing about it. Let's break it down. You said first it was the chemistry, right? That means I don't find you attractive. It just is what it is. I think you're ugly. I'm just translating for the guy.
Okay.
Right? The guy said, yeah, the sexual chemistry wasn't there. I think you're ugly. Right? Number two, my headphones fell off, but it's okay. I think you're mean. I think he's reaching. Or, to your point, I don't want to break the fourth wall. But you said something that made me go, I ain't think of it that way. We kind of seen Emily's kind of snarkiness on the after party shows.
Yeah.
So it kind of make us think, if she's this way when they're not filming on the after party and things of that nature, how was she in the house? I'm not saying that to support Brennan's reasons for extracting himself from the relationship and not giving it his all, though, you know?
Exactly.
Yeah.
No, I totally agree with that. And that's exactly, when he said she was negative, I was just like, if I would have just seen the show and not seen the after party, then I probably would have been like, how is she negative? Yeah. I mean, she came out with a broken wrist and she was positive. She hit her head and she's, still powering through and trying to be positive. But she can get nasty.
But she
can definitely get nasty.
But I think there's a stretch of someone saying negative things and being a negative person. I think when you're searching for flaws, you would maximize the flaw of someone. Everybody can be mean. Everybody can be nasty every now and then. But that doesn't mean that's them in totality.
That's true. And then you kind of do got to consider the source, because he don't like her.
Exactly. So it's like,
so even if she has said negative or toxic things, it doesn't mean she's like that all the time.
Exactly.
That doesn't color her as a picture in totality.
And then
I will say she's mean because I didn't like the way she talked to Keisha. So I'm just gonna agree with her.
Well, okay. Well, it is Black History Month still. Guess what? It may.
I didn't like how she talked.
It may be the last day, but
so to me, she mean.
But guess what? It's still Black History Month.
Okay.
Right. But no, that is to a point. But also, I would say, before we continue on with the scene, was that, hey, she could be these things, but what has she been to you?
True.
Because I can adjust. Like, hey, let's not talk about this person with one arm. We ain't got going on like this handicap. But what has she done that was negative to you?
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying?
That's true. But at the same time, if you're sitting around and you're just around somebody who's a complainer, nobody wants to be around that. Maybe. Yeah. Well, Emily thinks that she's the most positive person. Okay. She ends up on the floor of the bathroom crying.
She storms off. Yep.
She comes back to the table and she wants to know what her other red flags are. Mm-hmm. He says that he doesn't know who she is as a person, and she says that she's always been described as a positive person. He's telling her he's just trying to be honest. You asked me to say exactly how I felt and what were the red flags, and I said them. And finally, I mean, he's been skirting around the issue this whole time. But so I'm like, finally.
But he's still lying, though. He's still lying.
How?
He talked about, I don't know who you are as a person. Well, maybe if you would have moved into the apartment the first night, maybe you don't go home every night and things of that nature. Maybe if you actually take the time to actually...
Well, I don't know if he said that. I think she said that to him. Oh, like, you don't know me.
Okay. That's facts. That's facts. Well, going back to that point, if she says that you don't know me as a person, I agree with her 100% because he didn't want to know you as a person.
No, he said he felt he saw enough.
So my thing is, if you didn't take the time out to get the whole totality of me, then don't try to color me as a negative person then.
True.
Because my thing is, you didn't take the time in to move in with me. You didn't take the time in to get to know me. You didn't even give me a chance to even like change. Mm-hmm. Like that's the most powerful thing a human can do, and that's change.
That's true. He never voiced his concerns for her to pivot or anything, so they could have a full shot.
So there are people who are negative. With me, I'm not a negative person, but I can be a pessimistic sometimes. Mm-hmm. Like with me, I am the type of person to be like, it's life. Life happens. Like you lemons. Blair was like, I got the picture for lemonade, and I'm not that type of person. You get what I'm saying? Like, so, but my thing is, being with Blair, I can't let my gray skies, you get what I'm saying? like color her skies that are blue.
Right.
You get what I'm saying? And that doesn't mean she has blue skies all the time, but she has them more than I do. You know what I mean?
Okay.
so like, but that's my whole point though. That's just a part of me. That's not all of me.
No.
You know, my life experiences and things of that nature make me view life kind of like glass half full. Or glass half empty, rather.
Okay.
You get what I'm saying? To where Blair's more like glass half full. So Brennan don't have the right to color her personality when he didn't take the chance to get to know her.
Right.
You know? Yeah.
Yeah. Moving on. Yeah. Austin doesn't like how Becca describes him.
Okay.
And we see some footage from the apartment cameras of them having this discussion. Yeah. She's shocked that he's more upset at the way that she makes him look on camera versus how she actually is experiencing him and viewing him as a person.
I have a question for you after you describe this scene, by the way.
Okay. He doesn't want, when he disagrees, to be labeled as combative. He asks her, am I being combative right now? And she says no. He says, that's what millions of people are going to see about me. Austin cares about how he looks on camera and how she feels, is how he's saying. Becca ends the conversation and goes to bed.
I have a question. Can I ask my question?
Yeah.
I said, can I ask my question?
Yes.
I got a question for you, Blaine. I got a question for you viewers. Give me the comments below. I am new to this. I'm not true to this, to the Married at First Sight franchise. Is this the most we ever heard them kind of break the fourth wall about being on camera?
No, they've had it in multiple seasons.
Okay, because I'm like, this is kind of strange for me.
Because one season, one girl was like, all I do is give him head. We don't ever do anything. I got to give him head all the time.
Did she say that on camera?
No, she said that like in the cameras in the living room when she was venting to the girls.
Okay. Yeah. Did she look? She looked in the camera and said that?
No.
Well, then what are you talking about?
Exactly what you're talking about. You said, is this the first time that we're getting like breaking the fourth wall of them not being on camera but having cameras catch certain things?
That's not what I asked.
All right, what'd you ask me?
I said, is this the first time that they're breaking the fourth wall of them mentioning being on camera? Like, basically, they said, you're making me look bad on camera.
No, it's not.
Like that. As in, basically, like, they making it known that they're on TV.
No.
Is this the first? Because this is the most I've ever heard somebody that's on TV talk about how they're viewed on TV.
No.
And I'm like, this is kind of strange. I feel like they're breaking the fourth wall of, like, you're making me look bad.
It doesn't happen a lot, but it's not the first time.
Okay, I'm like, you're making me look bad to America. I'm like, why are they saying this?
Yeah.
Like, we know you on camera, but why are you, like, mentioning the cameras? I thought they're not supposed to mention it or basically act natural to where they're not supposed to acknowledge it and things of that nature. But thank you for that scene, that background scene of that woman said, all I do is give them head. Okay, thank you. Thank you for that flashback. I'm going to look for that season after we get done.
I'll let you know which one it is.
Okay, thank you. I appreciate it.
Well, Brennan decided to go home last night.
Yeah.
Emily is sad how everything was handled.
Okay.
Chloe and Michael go to the sex store.
Okay.
I mean, there really wasn't much to say about the sex store stuff. They had a good time. They laughed. They joked. They played around with some things.
Mm-hmm.
That was it.
I ain't nothing weird of it.
Yeah. Claire visits Emily.
Yeah.
She tells her what happened at the dinner. Claire has been trying to protect Emily, but eventually lets her know that Brennan has been trying to go out on double dates with Cameron.
Oh, my goodness.
And he's been going out on dates himself. Emily says it sucks, but it validates everything that she's been going through.
Mm-hmm. Which kind of leads me to think, Claire, how long did you know that Cam was, like, actively dating?
Yeah, and why are you over here crying about him? If you know he's dating and, like, I don't know. So maybe Cameron's not dating. Maybe he's just like, Brennan said this to me.
I don't know about that. Because they said they going on double dates. As in, they are buddy-buddy going out together.
They didn't say they're doing that.
Oh, I thought you said they set up double dates.
No, Brennan said he wanted to go on a double date with Cameron because Brennan is dating.
Oh, okay. Well, guess what? For him to say that, in my opinion, Cam, it seemed like Brennan don't like Michael, but Brennan has a liking to Cam. Okay. And for him to be like, "Hey, Cam, you want to go out and get some girls?" I'm like, based off of the conversations that they must have been having privately, why do you feel comfortable asking me this unless I giving you some information that, like, I'm willing to do it?
Or the fact that he knows that him and Claire ain't together.
Exactly. So my thing is, if this is not new information to Claire, why is she, like, distraught about it? Especially since they already had their decision day episodes ago. Emily, I don't really know what to tell you.
Claire's fake distraught. She's distraught for Emily.
Yeah, Claire, I don't really know what your problem is. Yeah. Emily, I don't really know what to tell you. this has been going on in the sense of you being fake married throughout this whole season. So him actually going out to date somebody, you should just count your blessings and move on, really.
Yeah. Well, Emily FaceTimes Brennan.
Yeah.
She tells him about finding out about the double date comment.
Mm-hmm.
At first, he says it's not true.
Mm-hmm.
And then he said it jokingly.
Okay.
So now I believe it wasn't a joke.
No, it wasn't.
Because you already lied
Mm-hmm.
the first time you say it's not true. Emily tells him that she's done. He couldn't be faithful for 2 months. He says, if that's how you feel after I saved your life.
Man.
She said, you did not save my life. Anybody would have done that. And he said, well, they didn't. And she said, nobody else was there. He said, I'll see you on decision day.
Hey, listen, just to let you know, the branch just went under the helmet and basically left a deep wound on her forehead and things like that. A tree did not fall on her. He did not lift up the tree and like pull her from under it.
He did this.
Exactly. Basically, it's just a deep wound. That's all he did, just apply pressure to the wound and things like that. If she would have went riding by herself with the instructors would have did the exact same thing.
Yeah.
So let's not act like Emily. A lot of blood, but it was a lot of blood, but less damage. Not a lot of damage. We don't even see the damage on the camera now. Brennan, I see what you're doing there, brother. And maybe I'm not saying I'm the type of guy to do it too, but listen here. I saved your life. I got to get some points for that. But you got to get the points from someone who likes you. You get what I'm saying? And
he's doing it wrong.
Yes. Like, why do you want points for someone you don't like? Like, he keeps saying, I saved your life, but you don't like Emily. So what does those points do for anything? You know what I'm saying? So I don't understand. It was a funny scene, though.
Yeah. All the ladies, except for Lauren, meet up. And I was glad. Lauren, don't be sitting around the pity party.
I don't know. I truth be told, I don't know why you mentioned Lauren in the first place. They are inside the apartments. These are the ladies on the show.
Yeah, every woman on the cast.
Yeah, but Lauren's not on the cast.
Claire shouldn't be either.
No, Claire is on the cast. Lauren and Orion officially got divorced, even though they was at the retreat. They're not on the cast. So I was finding I was very strange. You were like, thank God Lauren not there. I'm like, why would Lauren be there? She hasn't been in an apartment.
Well, the same way that she was at the retreat.
That wasn't at the apartments.
Okay.
This was at the apartments.
Okay.
Yes.
Emily starts crying and explaining what all has transpired.
Mm-hmm.
Becca says that Brennan makes Emily delete diary cams that don't show him in the best light. Becca tells him that the men have been so concerned about the optics. Austin walks past Becca when she's changing clothes. He doesn't call her pretty. Becca wants to say yes on decision day, and she loves Austin. He tells her the cameras are what's causing the issue, and she can't wait until things get easier.
I got a question. If you're changing clothes and like he don't look at her, call it pretty, do y'all notice that as women?
Probably not 7 years deep, but maybe at the beginning. You would think that you look or something.
But my thing is,
I mean, if it's been like a month or two, like you would think your partner would want to check you out a little bit.
But here's what I'm saying. This is where I'm confused now. Help me figure it out. They're not having sex. She wants to have sex. But he's not even looking at her while she's naked, basically, or complimenting her while she's naked. So why does she think they can skip that step and go straight into, we gonna have sex this weekend. We gonna have sex at the retreat. He don't look at you when you're naked.
But that's what she's saying. Like, he doesn't even do the smallest of things.
Yes, but I'm like, we figured that out just at that moment.
Yeah.
You been knew this. So why would you, quote unquote, keep putting this pressure for sex when the thing that should have been coming out of Becca's mouth this whole time is he don't even look at me when I'm naked.
Yeah.
But it gave off the impression that they doing everything but sex. But he's not even looking at her when she's naked. That's not a big deal to her?
I mean, it is, yeah.
Now, but I'm like, where was this at day one?
Yeah.
I feel kind of misled a little bit. I kind of feel like
I think that she wasn't paying attention to his actions. I think she was more so listening to his words. And I think that's why she continued to press the issue, because he kept saying something's going to happen.
Yeah.
But up to this point, she's just like, okay, now I really got to look at your actions, and nothing you're doing is is lining up with your words.
Okay, then I'd rather go with that, because I'm like, Becca lied to us then.
No, she's just been listening to what he's saying, and he been lying. So
no, because my thing is like, hey, what made like for you to be frustrated that you're not having sex? I'm like, girl, there's been signs that he probably just not into you or physically attracted to you.
Yeah.
Like you made us basically believe his lies because you just brought it up on the second to last episode that like he don't view you naked and things like that in the pottery class, you talking about, I feel like you like me as a person, but I feel like you don't really like me. You're not into me. Girl, you just gave us this information. He don't look at you naked.
But the thing is, like, she's been saying that she's been trying to, like, deal with things on her own, not speak on things, like, in front of the camera. Okay. So, yeah, she's letting everything out now because she said, like, she's tired of trying to hold it in.
Yes, facts. I give a bail then.
Yeah.
I give a bail.
Well, Becca hangs out with one of her friends. Austin hangs out with one of his. And Austin says that he thinks that she describes him more harshly than how he is. Okay. He thinks that they're compatible in a lot of ways, but that hasn't been the focus the past few weeks. He wants to put in the work, but how hard do you keep on trying? Like, when is the end point? Becca talking to her friend, and she's saying that he's more concerned about how he's viewed on camera. They're both triggering each other and don't feel heard. The friend says Becca hasn't felt desired or pursued, which should be on fire in the beginning, and these are red flags that should be a hard stop. And Becca cannot keep pretending. The friend is telling her, girl, leave. You would have been told me to leave, so you need to leave.
Yeah, I don't think he's into you, girl.
Nah.
Yeah.
Brennan comes by the shared apartment to get his stuff. He asks Emily on his way out if she wants to talk. She says, nope, not really. They hug, and he leaves.
Listen here, she shouldn't even hugged him.
Yep.
She shouldn't even hugged him.
Austin apparently left the apartment.
Oh my goodness! I feel like the guys came together like, "Hey man, we did our best. We
they said this last week.
Yeah, we leaving.
They said, I'm not doing the last day. This is the last week. I'm out. Becca says before she saw her friend, things were good. When she came back, he was not happy. He talked about him being worried about the optics, and him being worried about the optics makes her question the reality of the relationship. His main concern is himself.
I will say this, Austin, trust me. Anything that we think of you negatively is not based on what Becca told us.
No, it's all things that we've seen ourselves.
Yes.
Yeah, she can't paint a picture when we see you.
No, listen here.
Yeah.
Listen, I think you're childish. I think you're immature. Some people may say you're, and I leave it blank, and things like that. The backwards hat doesn't help. You're going into a man's room because you want to sleep in his bed because he's a celebrity doesn't help. You just comes off, trust me, those things are not things that Becca said to us that make us view you weird.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? You played a big part, if not all the parts in this orchestra to make us view you the way that we do.
And Brennan wishes that he and Emily could have walked away as friends.
Why?
Emily wants to say everything she needs to say when it comes to decision day, and she wants to leave here with no regrets.
This is not friends at first sight, boy.
Yep.
You get what I'm saying?
Chloe and Michael check out some of the toys they got, and that is where we end.
Listen here, we made it to the end, guys. Next week is decision week, I believe.
Yes.
And I feel like it would not be genuine if I say, Blair, who do you think is going to stay married? I listen, I think we kind of know who's not going to stay married, who's not married, who's not even in a relationship right now. You get what I'm saying?
Now, what I'm concerned about is how they're going to do decision day with Chloe and Michael still going through their process. Are we going to have to watch an hour and a half of Chloe and Michael for the next few weeks?
I hope not. I'm thinking this.
Can they wrap it up the same day?
No.
Okay.
This is what I think they gonna do. I think they gonna make Chloe and Michael give their decision at the reunion.
I don't think so. I think I know what they're gonna do.
What do you think they gonna do?
I think they're going to continue taping everybody else as like an after the decision day type of role, like footage, and then continue following Chloe and Michael's journey until it's their decision day.
So you mean we still gonna be in Married First Like Hell?
I believe so.
For how many more weeks?
Maybe 2.
I'm not upset about that, y'all. I'm happy to do this. Make sure y'all subscribe, like, share, comment, thumbs up. We will be back, it seems like, for the rest of the year on this show. And leave some comments. I feel like looking at some comments, reading some comments. Anything you want to share, Blair, on what you thought about the show on this episode?
I've said it all.
Well, that's it.
That's it.
Y'all be good.
Bye.